Hey, what's up everyone? So welcome to Saturn in the 11th house. And what happens when Saturn is in your 11th house in your birth horoscope? Now, many of you have been asking, God, geez, what is the best placement for Saturn to be in a chart? Yes, get the hint. Saturn in the 11th house is one of the best positions for Saturn to be in. Why? Because Saturn originally rules the 11th house, as in the sign of Aquarius, which is the 11th sign of the zodiac. So the original house starts with Aries. And so if you go 11 places, Aquarius. Okay, that's where Saturn really feels comfortable. That's his Mool Trikon sign. Mool Trikon meaning that his real original house. Okay, so what is the 11th house? 11th house is a house of your hopes and wishes. Whatever your hopes and wishes in life, which the top four is money, wife, getting the most beautiful wife or husband, getting the blessed children, and education. Okay, so gains of all of these things, whatever your hopes and desires. To get a big house, to get a Ferrari, to get a Dodge Viper RT10, which I'm trying to get next year, so hopefully I'll get it. But yeah, that's what it represents. It represents your friends. It represents your network circle. Network circle, professional network circle that will help you achieve your goals. Okay, because networking is really important in terms of business and in an employed company environment as well. Okay, 11th house is the house of your elder siblings as well. 11th house represents the incoming gains that you get, not your hoarded wealth of the second house. Your savings is the incoming wealth of the 11th house, and this is why it's known as one of the most strongest Upachya houses and one of the strongest Kama houses. Kama houses is 3rd house, 7th house, 11th house. Upachya is 3rd house, 6th house, 10th house, and 11th house. This is the most important houses. It's in terms of material world, because it helps you achieve your hopes and wishes. What is Saturn? Saturn is restriction. Saturn is boundaries. Saturn is delay of things. Saturn brings reality to things. Saturn judges you. Saturn is the law. Okay. However, in this house, it kind of releases his negative aspect on a person's life. So when Saturn comes into the 11th house, it is first of all one of the most amazing positions to get gains. Okay, especially if it's in his own sign or exalted in Libra, gains. And gains from business, gains from financial institution, speculative business, gains through network. So all kinds of gains. And these are the people who do not like showing off. If they get a gain, those people that that are billionaires, yet they drive a Toyota or Prius and they live in like a 3-bedroom house. Those are probably the people with Saturn in the 11th house. Here, what Saturn does, it doesn't make a person show off their wealth. Because I told you, Saturn runs away from getting the fame. Saturn runs away from getting the limelight on himself. And in the 11th house, which represents your social circle and your friends and your unlimited amount of gains. So here, Saturn keeps his friend to himself. He keeps his gains to himself. His hopes and wishes, he never tried to reveal his hopes and wishes. Even if it's to get a Ferrari one day, they will just be like, whatever. If it comes in, comes in. And so this is why these are those true rich people, the true millionaire next door. Your house right next door is a guy who's always in the garage driving like an old truck. Yet if you looked at their financial statement, they're probably worth $18 million, $15 million. And I've met those kind of people. Okay, so this is what it represents here. Okay, your friend circle is going to be more of an older crowd. Your network circle is going to be more of a mature, older crowd, because why? Saturn is a mature planet. Saturn loves older things. Because it's an old planet, he moves slow like an old person. And in the 11th house, it makes your hopes and wishes come true once you put in forth the effort. It rewards you quicker than any other house. So if you work your ass off for 2 years to get to a certain position so you can make that money, once that 2 years is over, it will give you that money. Versus some other house where Saturn might make you work 10 years, 15 years to get to that same position. Okay. So here Saturn is actually reveals his other nature, the true side of himself. That look, I'm not about all the bad things in life that you hear about me. I'm actually out here to give you what you want. And remember, even in my book, I tell you, Saturn is the number one planet when it comes to giving wealth, more than even Jupiter. Okay. Jupiter wants to give you, it wants to give you everything, wants to expand everything. But if your karma is not good, then Jupiter's kind of stuck there. So Saturn, here kind of releases you of that karma. Now, if it's debilitated, your friends will cheat you. You will have wrong type of friends. You will have wrong type of network circle. This can represent money through illegal gains. So if Saturn is an enemy sign or debilitated, you can be screwing people over to make their money. Okay. Now, Saturn can be a very show-offy planet if it's sitting with Venus, because Venus loves gains. And Venus and Saturn are both best friends. So if he's sitting with her, with Venus, then Venus will encourage Saturn to, hey, show off some of your wealth. Do this. And Saturn will be like, all right, fine, whatever, I'll show it off. But you just got to be careful that you can run into wrong network circle, and you can be screwed by your wrong network circle if Saturn is debilitated in your horoscope, or when it transits as a debilitated Saturn through your 11th house. Now, from the 11th house, Saturn looks at your ascendant, your entire life, your personality, your being. Okay, so if Saturn is in a good dignity in the 11th house, if it's in the sign of Aquarius or Capricorn or Libra or Taurus, it's going to make you an extremely hard-working person. It will teach you lessons early on in life regarding having no money, regarding having suffering from poverty. And he will instill such values in you that you will persevere in any kind of situation, because your entire being is now, your entire life chart, which is the ascendant, the first house, is being looked on by Saturn. Now, if Saturn is in a bad dignity, if it's debilitated, if it's an enemy sign, in criminal sign, he's going to block a lot of things in your personality. He's going to make you do wrong things in life. This is why wrongful gains are seen from this. He will make you somebody who's like a scam artist, a cheater, okay? Or you will be cheated by scam artists through your network circle or a network friends, okay? And its aspect on the first house also could give problems with joints and bones if it's debilitated. Because the health is seen of a person from the first house and sixth house and the Lord of the sixth house, okay? So when Saturn aspects the first house, and if he's not in, if he's in criminal to your ascendant, or if he's in a bad position in the 11th house, can give you bones and joint problems as well. And if some other planet is sitting there, it'll also cause that planet to give bad results in terms of health. Its aspect on the 5th house, it can block education. Okay, if it's functional malefic for your ascendant, if it's debilitated or an enemy sign, block education, or education will just be very, very tough and long drawn process for you. Okay, this is one of the best positions to have a long life, a guaranteed long life, and a long healthy life if Saturn is good, because he's from his 10th aspect looking at the 8th house of longevity. So, and Saturn is a karka of the 8th house, so he will not do anything to ruin that house. So here Saturn gives long life. He gives very, if he is in a good dignity, he will give you very less fluctuation in life, like ups and downs of 8th house. But if he's debilitated, you can expect like major ups and downs, especially when Saturn is transiting through the 8th house and the 11th house in your horoscope. Those years could be very turbulent years, if he's debilitated or sitting with an enemy on or in criminal sign. Okay, so these are the aspects of Saturn and what it does in these horoscope. Career-wise, business, any kind of controlling large amount of people, large amount of organization, and uplifting that organization of people to a higher level. So business management, any kind of business management, finance, any kind of political aspect, because Saturn looks at the 5th house of politics and speculative business. Okay. So it gives you a rise into the political sphere as well. Okay, so Guys, this was my analysis of Saturn in the 11th house. We're going to be doing Saturn in the 12th house on Monday. So if you're new to my channel, subscribe above. And if you want to know where your Saturn is placed along with other planetary alignments, check out my link below. Check out my book there, Astrology at the Speed of Light. It'll teach you astrology at the speed of light. And once you get the book, I will send you the link to look at your own chart. Just make sure you please follow the directions below. Okay, please. Otherwise, I'll see you tomorrow with a new video. Bye-bye.